Hi, this is Noel Salas for the Surfboard Empire.
Oh, sometimes I wanna be myself, tired of trying to be anybody else. All the things wanna get you down, make you serious, make you wear a frown. I just say, oh, I'm getting older. Be honest with yourself, this will never be the same. Oh, I'm getting older. Be honest.
Hey guys, welcome to Surf and Show. I'm Noel Salas, and today's surfboard review is on the Storms by SharpEye Surfboards. Now this is a pro model for Kanoa Igarashi, and I've got two boards. This is a stock 5.8 PU poly coming in at 25.8 liters, and then I ordered a custom EPS epoxy 5.6 coming in at 25 liters. I'm 5'9" and 160 pounds. This is going to be a great review. Sit back, get your favorite drink, enjoy the show. Now as we dive into the attributes of this model, I want to first mention this board design was inspired by the Disco Inferno. Now I never had the privilege of riding that board. Now these are the changes on the Storms. It's got a wider nose. More surface area up here is going to make it a better paddler. They're also shoving more foam forward. And I believe that's going to help with paddling, and it's also going to benefit me shifting my weight forward and get more drive through my turns. I want to point out or look at the wide point on the outline here. Most of the time when a shaper pushes foam forward, it creates its wide point front from center. And that's going to make the board draw out its turn a bit. But if you look at it here, it's pretty neutral. I wouldn't say it's in front of center, and I wouldn't say that it's significantly behind center. Now, the reason I bring this up, because I want to talk about foot orientation. I surf more off my back foot, meaning a lot of my weight's back in this area of the board, and I'm driving it from the tail. As opposed to someone exactly opposite of me would be a heavily front-footed surfer, shifting their weight forward and driving the board down the line to get speed from the front foot. Now, if the wide point was front from center here, I believe that would hinder a front-footed surfer more than it being neutral. And this is what I mean. If the wide point's front from center, there's going to be more width in the nose area here, right? And that's really about good paddling, making it more stable under the front foot. But now, when that front-footed surfer goes to put that weight into that turn, the board's more prone to catching up here. I really feel like the Storms model is going to best suit all different types of foot orientation. I felt it suited my back-footed surfing style real well. Guys that are neutral, they can kind of sit right in the middle, or even guys that are heavily front-footed. I believe it'll work good for all three. Now, one of the things I really liked about the Storms is how well it pivoted. And with it not having its wide point back from center, which would increase pivot, it being neutral, I could get it to pivot quick, whether it was in waist to chest high or even overhead. Now, the other things that we can attribute that pivot to is it's got a little bump in the tail right here. And that's really just to help the board pivot. They're reducing some surface area and making the board a little bit more high performance in the pocket. Now I want to talk a bit about rocker. Since I've never ridden the Disco Inferno, I wouldn't know what that rocker is. So we've got a low to medium entry, and then we've got a medium exit. Now I talk about the bump in the tail helping this board pivot. That's enhanced by medium exit rocker. And I believe that's a great combination. Now, I felt that this board carried excellent speed, and it had great drive-through turns, and it didn't matter if I was riding maybe more of a chest high and below wave, or if I was riding a little bit overhead. For me, I believe the Storms is kind of like that higher performance shortboard for our kind of community. Now on the Concaves, it's running a single to double. Usually I won't put a straight edge on it, but I think it's important for you guys to see as I go from the single into the double, I'm in front of the fins here and I can already feel it. But you can see how aggressive that is. Look, see how much you can see my finger? I haven't seen this much double concave in a board in a while. And that goes all the way through the tail here. Now, one of the things I like about a single to double is when it's choppy or there's a lot of texture on the wave surface, I really feel like the way the water flows through a double concave keeps the board nice and loose and easy to put on rail. Now, I mentioned the Storms being a good high performance shortboard for our community. This is why I say that. If you're an intermediate, advanced level surfer and you want to rip in 1 to 6 foot surf, this board will do that. When I put it in my hand, it kind of looks like a high performance shortboard. Rail's about medium, but it's soft and forgiving, right? It's not a flat deck. The rail's not super pinched. I'd say it's medium. And as I come back here, it's starting to get sharp back in this area, and the board offers good traction. I find myself living here in Southern California, 1 to 6 foot surf, 90% of the time, I'm riding boards like this. It's got that low to medium entry and medium exit, and it's carrying good speed. But I would say this is not a growler for 1 to 2 foot or 1 to 3 foot mushy surf. Guys like Kanoa and people that can generate their own speed absolutely can rip on this board. But if you want to go fast, have more fun, you might want to get on a board that has a bit wider nose, a bit less rocker, and still be able to do some good turns on. Now, I've been riding a bit of Marcio's boards. The Disco Cheater was a favorite and I had a blast on that board. You've got the Magudo, and you've also got the Modern 2. Now I want to talk about the fins I chose. I started on the 5.6 EPS epoxy, put the H4 size medium fins in, got some fun waves. Check it out.
I'm getting older, be honest with yourself, this won't never be the same, and I'm only part of the solution. Just say what you really feel, 'cause I'm here just to say, what do I need? Ha, oh. So, oh.
Now that you've seen a few waves in a couple different sessions, I felt like we had fun waves, but I really struggled to connect with the H4 fins. And I don't know if it's the size, them being medium, and I'm usually riding a large fin, so I'm getting more drive. But the way it feels underfoot and what it looks like on video to me is it feels like here's the rake and then here's the pivot. And somewhere in between my turns, I feel like I can get one good turn, but I can't link two good ones together. I feel like I'm lacking drive and flow, so there's nothing smooth in my surfing with these fins. Now, I'm not giving up on the H4 fins. I'm going to try and get a set of large, but for me, the medium H4 and the Storms, I did not like it. After we switched from the H4s, I went into the large Philippe Toledo fin because this is what Marcio recommended with this board. Check it out.
To know that, be honest with yourself, this will never be the same. Oh, and get to know that, be honest with yourself, this will never be the same. Here we go now.
Now, after a few waves, a couple different sessions, the Philippe fins felt great. And I believe you can see the difference between the Philippes and the H4. I believe I'm getting more drive-through turns, I'm surfing faster, The board looks like I have more control and it's smoother rail to rail, so I've got more flow. One of the things that keeps happening to me on performance boards with medium exit rocker is I like to pair them with a raked fin. Remember I was talking about the pivot and traction that I'm getting from that medium exit rocker? Well, the raked fin really enhances that pivot, giving me more drive-through turns. These Philippe's felt great. Now I want to talk about the fins I chose in future boxes. This is the Momentum Series rake template. This is a prototype fin. Check these waves out.
To know that, be honest with yourself, this will never be the same. Oh, and get to know that, be honest with yourself, this will never be the same. Here we go now.
Now that you've seen a few waves in a couple different sessions, the Momentum Series rake tablet felt great. What I like about this fin is it feels fast and loose with a lot of drive. Remember, I'm 5'9" and 160 pounds, and if I'm riding a large fin, I like that wide base to maximize drive-through turns. This fin has the large base, but it has medium fin depth. One of the sacrifices I make when I ride a large fin is the deeper that fin goes, the tighter the board becomes, and that offers a bit more drag. So it's going to be a little bit slower. So by hybridizing a large fin base with medium fin depth, I get the best of both drive and fast and loose, and I think it's going to translate well for you too. So let's look at some waves together. Nice little open face carve, good bottom turn, nice spray on that top turn, nice left, no hesitation, top to bottom, good flow, and nice projection down the line. Good top turn right there. The 5/8 feeling solid, throwing good spray on every turn. Now here's the EPS epoxy. You can see that pop I'm getting there. So it's projecting me through my turns a bit better with the epoxy. Nice pop right there. Able to surf the smaller waves with a bit more speed. Now here's the last little left, just top to bottom, getting the tail free, feeling good with good flow. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed today's review on the Storms model by SharpEye Surfboards. I'm calling it a daily driver, best in 2 to 6 foot surf, and I highly recommend it for that intermediate all the way to pro level surfers. If you're going to add a board like this to your quiver, I recommend that 2 to 4 foot range, go EPS epoxy. If you're going to surf it more as a high performance shortboard in that 3 to 6 foot range, I recommend the PU Poly. Well, special shout out thanks to Marcio Zuvi for sending these boards down for review. If you like the show, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, but until next time, we'll see you in the water. Bye-bye.